Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course, I'm your host, your YouTube Messiah, often imitated, never duplicated superstar, Tim Vicious, and we are talking about the one and only WrestleMania this weekend. A lot to cover. I'm going to try and go through it as quick as I can because I don't want to draw and prattle on for too long. That way I don't wind up seeming like some dickhead, even though probably most of you think I already am. But honestly, this is probably one of my favorite WrestleManias within the past few years. I will say that right now. Now, either way, was in the MetLife Stadium in Jersey, but it's in the New York, New Jersey area, and honestly, yeah, that's about the most I can say, because the only positive things that have come out of New Jersey for me is my good brother Danny Sunday, Bruce Springsteen, and Liv Morgan, especially when she's wearing tight leather pants. But moving forward, let's start off pre-show cruiserweight match. Buddy Murphy, Tony Nese. This very nice, fast-paced from the start. Really good back and forth. Really dug the shit out of this. Beautiful way to set the tone for the show itself. You know, and I've gone over this before. You look back, you go on, if you got the network, and obviously you do, if, you know, you more than likely do, you go back and you watch WCW pay-per-views from the Monday Night War era. 99.9% of the time, they started off their show with cruiserweights. Very much so in the same way WWE is. Why? Because high octane, high action, definitely good way to reel people in. Simple. You know? Really dug the hell out of this match, you know. Yep. Now, match wound up coming to an end with Tony Nese hitting a German suplex on the Murphy into the corner, and then hit that running knee on him. Boom. Pop the knee right on him. 1, 2, 3. So Tony Nese is now your new cruiserweight champion, and honestly, I'm not going to be satisfied unless he's got a cruiserweight, unless he carries that title, because if he does, if he wears it, he's gonna have a hard time showing off all them abs he's got. You know, but next up we got the Women's Battle Royal. Really dug it. Love the fact that that they brought Amber Moon back for it, you know. Now, honestly, you'll probably hear me say this a few times during the course of this show. I'm more of a fan of don't bring a person back just to give them a WrestleMania match. Bring them back. You know, if you got to wait until after WrestleMania to bring them back. Just make sure you have a story for them. Don't just bring them back because the second they're cleared, and be like, oh, hey, they're clear. Let's put them in Mania now. No. But, yep, she was there. Amber, she was on top notch. The Riot Squad was really the MVP in this Battle Royal. My biggest disappointment, though, was we only got a small little stare down between Kairi Sane and my future third ex-wife, Asuka. You know, so hopefully we'll see, you know, hopefully we could see something between them down the line. Hope sometime soon, but Women's Battle Royal came to an end. Sarah Logan, she wound up clearing house after Liv and Ruby got tossed out. And then next thing you know, she cleared house. Fucking looked phenomenal. Next thing you know, Carmella, who got tossed out through the middle or the bottom rope earlier on, wound up coming back in, just creeped up behind her. It's like, hey, how you doing? And then they proceeded to go at it for a minute, and then Carmella wound up getting her over. Carmella wound up tossing her over. And so, yeah, Carmella won the Women's Battle Royal. I can't honestly complain because Carmella has busted her ass to improve herself immensely. So, yeah. Next matchup we got we got the Revival going against Curt, Hawkins, and Zack Ryder. This is going to be one of the few things you're going to hear me bitch and moan about on this. So if you're a fan of this show, I absolutely love and appreciate you. But if you're a fan, more so of a fan of me just sitting there shitting on everything, man, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be doing too much shitting. But this is going to be one of those things I'm going to be shitting on. Now, I will say this, that at the beginning what I did like was on how Scott Dawson was teasing and taunting them, Ryder and Hawkins, about on how, they were pretty much, for the lack of a better term, they were the loser team, they were jobbers, this, that, and the other, The only thing that they got going for them is their action figure podcast, shit like that. Now Ryder, he wound up being the team punching bag, and of all things, Curt Hawkins got the hot tag, and I got nothing against the man personally, but if you can't have a good match with AJ Styles at PWG, what the fuck? You need to reevaluate yourself. Either way, Hawkins wound up getting a hot tag, cleaned up house for a minute, and then wound up getting his shit knocked out of him outside, got brought back in, dead to the world on the mat. Next thing you know, Dawson came over to him. It was like, the hell? Next thing you know, Hawkins, quick roll up, 1, 2, 3, and so, yeah. Curt Hawkins, fucking undefeated. Curt Hawkins' losing streak comes to an end at WrestleMania, where he wins tag team gold. This is about as sad. This is a sad moment for me in wrestling, very much so in the same way the fucking Barber beat Mr. Perfect's streak. Just, ugh. Next up, we got the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and right off bat, one thing I will say that I loved it right off bat was on how fucking Braun just went to go make a fucking beeline for them SNL jabroni fucks. Now, I can't say I remember their names for the life of me because I haven't watched Saturday Night Live since I was like 17. But from what few clips I have seen, that show has fucking tanked since. But either way, Strowman pretty much was killed. Strowman was the MVP in this Battle Royal more than anything, because it was, it was like, literally, if you're a fan of anime, you'll get this reference, but it was like seeing One Punch Man clear house, just boom, boom, you're out, boom, you're out, boom, you're out, boom, you're out. It was basically like that. And if you don't know who One Punch Man is, you need to look that anime up. You will like it. And match wound up coming to an end when Strowman finally got his hands on them two SNL fucks, and he pretty much, he grabbed the one, clubbed him, grabbed the other one. Next thing you know, I was praying he was going to give him a power slam, but didn't. Instead, just grabbed him, hoisted him up, and then threw him over. So Braun Strowman is now your new winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Hey, I finally got the name right. Now, let's get on to the main show. It starts off Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. And I know what a lot of y'all are thinking. Why are we having the Royal Rumble match first? Well, the reason why is mine savior Paul Heyman put it best. And God bless, Paul Heyman is the only man who could have sold this and made it be reasonable, saying, now we hear that there is going to be a match that is the main event, and we are not in it, so we are not going to sit here and wait idly by and get told when our match is. We are going to do this thing right now. So, Seth Rollins, come on down. Then Seth comes out, and before the bell even rings, Brock beats the unholy fuck out of Seth. like throwing him against the barricade, the ring, break, that little border thing that's on top of the table. He throws that, wedges it in between the ring and the ground, and then slams him in between it, breaks that. You could see Seth's back. Got welts, cuts. He was fucking hurting, man. And then Seth said, I could still do this. I could still do this. Ring the damn bell. Next thing you know, ref, ring the bell. Brock, he throws out a couple Germans. Next thing you know, as it looks like Brock's about to go for the death blow, ref winds up catching an elbow. Not a ref bump, but just an elbow to where he's like, ah! Can't see for a quick minute. Next thing you know, that gives Seth enough time. Boom! Low blow right to the nuts. Hits him with 3 curb stomps in 1, 2, 3. When now your winner and new Universal Champion, Seth Rollins. Seth is now honestly a true Grand Slam champion because he is the only man to hold all major titles on the main roster. So next up we got AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, and for whatever reason they decided to have Jerry Lawler of all people on commentary for it. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people say, oh well, Jerry Lawler was great, him and Jim Ross, this, that, and the other. Okay, but dude, he's fucking, let the man fucking go. He's past his prime on it. Jerry, he could still put talent over when he's doing commentary, but he's nowhere near as good as he was. Not even by a mile. That's honestly all I got to say on that. Now let's get into this match. Had a nice good start. Randy leading. Wound up moving into some back and forth through it. Randy hit quite possibly the best fucking superplex I have ever seen in a long while. And Randy normally goes for the superplex shades of his dear old daddy, Cowboy Bob Orton, which, I really hope he gets that. Really hope he gets a doctor to take a look at that broken arm of his. It's been broken for forever. He's still in a cast. But yeah. Wound up hitting a really beautiful superplex. Both guys were feeling it from that, but really loved on how the match went. Nice pace, nice feel. Match came to an end with AJ. He wound up punking out. Excuse me. Wound up punking out Randy Orton at one point with trying to go for the Phenomenal Forearm. Randy, boom, fell flat on his back. Next thing you know, Styles, got you now, bitch. Went in, hit the 450. Next thing you know, as a little bit of time goes on, next thing you know, boom, hit him with the Phenomenal Forearm, 1, 2, 3. And your winner, AJ Styles. Now, it is being reported that Uncle Allen did hurt himself during the course of the match. Nothing's been confirmed nor denied as of yet. So, at this point, we could just hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. If it is the case, AJ, I hope you get better soon. Next up, we got SmackDown Tag Title action. Usos going against Sheamus and Cesaro, against Nakamura and Rusev, going against Ricochet and Alister Black. And Alister Black and Ricochet, I'm pretty sure in the history books, WWE history books I should say, because within the course of 1 week, they challenged for the Raw tag titles, NXT tag titles, and now the SmackDown tag titles. So that it is a big first. I've not seen any other teams go and challenge for all 3 titles within the course of 1 week. Unrelated note, Alister Black and Ricochet's match at TakeOver, fucking phenomenal. Now let's get on to this one. Nice action with everyone. Everyone was tagging everyone to get in there to not make sure everyone was fucking fighting. And that's what the hell they were doing. At one point, Cesaro wound up watching. Cesaro, he wound up doing like 50 rotations on a Cesaro swing on Ricochet. All the while, every time somebody got up on the apron, Sheamus just boom, 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 hitting the beats of the Balor on them. Wound up doing it. hit 10 on each person until he got to Alister Black, and then just kept going like until he got to like 20. You could see Black's chest getting red from all them strikes. Just, God almighty. Whew. And there was good high octane action all around. Beautiful. Really loved it. Now, I'm normally not a fan of matches where you have everyone go and try and get their shit in, because I believe some wrestlers should not get their shit in a match, so that way when they do get it in a match later on, it's more worthwhile. This one time, I was all for it. Match came to an end. Usos wound up hitting the super kick and then a double splash onto Sheamus after all the mayhem cleared up. And then they got the 1, 2, 3. That was it. So next up, we got Shane O'Mac, Shane McMahon going against The Miz with Miz Dad ringside watching. Not actually ringside, he's sitting on the other side of the barricade, but Shane doing a little rope-a-dope, chasing him around action, taunting Miz, and then winds up teasing by messing with Miz Dad, which you do not mess with Miz Dad ever. He is a national treasure. Never mess with Miz Dad. But after a little while, Miz, Shane, they started getting at it, slugging for a little bit, and then at one point, Miz got that shit knocked out of him, got back of his head split open. You could see he had some color on him. And ref wound up having a glove up. Just as Shane was up on the turnbuckle, about to jump on the Miz, who was laying on the commentating table. Next, Miz Dad jumped the barricade, was like, whoa, whoa. Got in between, just like a good father would. A good father is willing to go and take that kind of a bullet for their kid, because I sure as hell know I would do that if that was my boy. In fact, I have gotten into fights over shit like that, but that's a story for another day. If you want to know something like that, hit me up on my Twitter at TimVicious and I'll talk about it. Either way, next, Miz Dad got in and just did this kind of a pose to Shane, like, dude, do you really know how to, like, throw down? Okay, look, I grew up in South Philly where by the time I was 8, I learned on how to fight real fast. You never hold your arms up like this. You know why? You're a fucking open target. Bring them in close like that, man. That way they can't get you. Just, ugh. But yeah, next, Shane proceeded to beat the shit out of Miz Dad. Miz wound up getting his second win from that, like Popeye getting some spinach. Got in, proceeded to beat the shit out of Shane. Went over to check on his dad. Was like, next, grabbed one of the tech guys that were standing nearby. Grabbed him, was like, you, watch him. And then went back to go beating Shane up. And Miz was on a whole other level of aggressive that I have never seen before on him, which was fucking amazing. Now, if they can tap into that and build on that for a character on him, oh my God, that would be great. He would be great to go on at some point to challenge for the title, for the world title again, if he has that kind of an attitude going in there. Now, they start fighting through the crowd. Miz working on Shane's knee at one point. And then next thing you know, very WrestleMania 17-ish moment right here. Miz and Shane were high up on a technical tower, like where the hard cam is. And, excuse me. And very much so like Undertaker and Triple H were. Next, they're swinging at each other. And just as it looks like Miz is about to throw Shane off, instead throws a few shots to the gut, hooks him over, and then suplexes him off from that, boom, through there. And before that fuck knuckle Meltzer goes and says, oh, well, it was obviously rigged. My sources, I have great sources in the company. My sources tell me that was planted. No fucking duh! Yeah, they landed, they crashed through it, but the way they landed, Shane's arm was right on top of Miz, so the ref counted it. 1, 2, 3. Shane won, and as the ref, after the ref lifted his hand, Shane just slightly raised his wrist up a little to acknowledge, yeah, I won, bitches. Like, yeah, I won. Fucking love that. He kept his heat with doing that shit. That was great. Next up, we got women's tag title action. The champs, Sasha and Bayley, which the Bayley buddies were a little underperforming for Mania, you know. Probably could have used that little blue pill to help get at attention. Excuse me. Sorry. Sasha and Bayley, Nia and Tamina, the IIconics, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, which, take a moment. If y'all haven't seen their WrestleMania entrance gear, you know how y'all always hear me say, "Where's my heart pills? Zack, where's my heart pills?" Yeah, this is definitely one of those moments. Because my buddy Zeke, he was just like, Tim, just take them now. Take them now because you're going to need them. Yeah. And then out came Natalya and Beth Phoenix dusting off the old Divas of Doom gear. And they had bread out with them, which, again, I understand the nostalgia act, but it didn't feel right to me. Like, why have Brett there? It didn't make sense. Like, you're having them go out to say, "Hey, good luck tonight, girls. You two can do it." Huh? Either way, right at the start there was mayhem, and now, we'll say this. Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Beth, and Natalya were pretty much the workhorses for this entire match. You know, it was freaking amazing. Nia and Tamina, they got their shit in. They were in there, they were working, but for the most part, the heavy lifting was done by the IIconics and the Divas of Doom. So I can't take nothing away from them on that. Also, you got to give mad props to Beth Phoenix. It's been a couple years since she stepped foot in the ring, got back in there on the biggest night of the year in pro wrestling, and fucking performed. You know, she didn't look like she missed a step. You know, now, match came to an end with Billie Kay. Now, Beth Phoenix wound up hitting a glam slam onto Bayley from the top, from the top rope. Boom! Right onto her, just as she was about to go for the pin. Next thing you know, Billie Kay comes in, throws Beth Phoenix off, climbs right on top, and goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Fucking beautiful. I absolutely love that. The IIconics are now the women's tag team champions, and honest to God, I really felt they should have won that at the Elimination Chamber, but for whatever, you know, I understand why they didn't, you know, but like I said, I personally just liked if you'd have had heel champions be the very first one, so that way when they get the titles off of them, it's twice as sweet. But this was extremely sweet because the crowd exploded. It was like seeing it. The crowd was all for it. They absolutely loved it. Now, next matchup, we got Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan. Really great start right off bat. Had nice back and forth. Bryan working on Kofi's ribs. You know, really loved on how, and Woods, Big E, they were over on Kofi's side. Didn't really see much interference from both sides, you know. Normally, yeah, I was expecting Harper to be like, try and push ropes over or distract the ref, things like that. Didn't really see that. You didn't really see much from Big E or Woods to do anything like that either. Now, we'll say one thing before the match started. Big E, he had a box in his hand saying, "Now Kofi, after this match tonight, inside this box, it's for you," which, if any of y'all saw 7, you know where I'm going with this. First thought was, what's in the box? What's in the box? Okay, I got that joke out. I had to get that joke out my system. I'm good now. Back to the match. Really great storytelling. I absolutely loved it. Now at one point, Rowan, he did try to come in and run interference. Big E and Woods would not let him. They eventually started brawling, and Big E got him up, and Woods, off of the announce table, boom, hit the Spike Big ending on the ground, on the mat. So that took Rowan out of the equation. Next thing you know, now back to the action inside the ring. You know, you could see both men were just like, why won't you just stay down? Why won't you just die? Okay, maybe not those, wrong choice of words, but like, just stay down. They both had that look of frustration on them. Like neither one was willing to just let go and give, say, you know. But it was really great. Really loved it. If you looked at the facial expressions, the body language, everything with it. Match wound up coming to an end. Kofi wound up hitting the Trouble in Paradise on the Bryan 1, 2, 3. That was it. After the match, Woods tossed aside Daniel Bryan's hemp-made title and then brought back the old leather and gold for Kofi with Kofi plates already on it. And then Big E finally opened up the box showing t-shirts for Kofi as champ. And yeah, and he had his kids in there. It was great. It was great. My son, my 9-year-old son, actually fought tooth and nail to stay up and watch this match. And he got teary-eyed watching it. It was that beautiful of a match. It pulled on a 9-year-old kid's emotional strings. If it can do that to a 9-year-old kid, goddamn, if I didn't see, if there wasn't, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a dry eye that saw that match. Next up, we got Rey Mysterio going against Samoa Joe, and I hate to use this because these guys are both two really good wrestlers, and I absolutely love them both, but this was a piss break match. Honestly, I felt like this should have gone on before Kofi and Bryan, but booking is booking. But this was the entire match. Bell rang. Rey wound up hitting a Hurricane Kirana, did a 619, missed the frog splash. Joe countered, got the Coquita clutch in. Rey passed out. Again, according to Fuck Knuckle, you know, saying, well, my sources, I have great sources in the company. My sources told me that Rey's injury was too severe to have a long match, especially one that they had with his son playing. No, duh. Rey injured his ankle the Monday prior against Corbin. He said that Saturday night at the Hall of Fame, he's been doing nothing but rehab. He's at 90%. No matter what, though, he's going to come out to WrestleMania to perform. You know what? I give Rey mad credit. He did, despite all of that, and he fucking still came out. He didn't look like he missed a step. Yeah, he was working. He worked. He worked through it. He worked hurt. And I give him mad credit for it. Next up, we got McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. Now, nice physicality. McIntyre was leading in a very aggressive manner, but, man, I don't know. I don't know if it was because of the Rey and Joe match or if it was because people were just so caught up about with Kofi and Bryan, but it was like somebody sucked all the sound out of the building during this match. I thought it was a half decent match. I wouldn't say it was like a 12 and 5/4 star of a match or anything, but you know, definitely sure. I wouldn't say it would main event in the Tokyo Dome, but either way, it was a half decent match. It was good, especially, you know, it was Roman's first singles match coming out since returning from leukemia. You know, Roman caught the win, hit a spear after a brief comeback. It was a quick match, 1, 2, 3, that was it. Next up, Dave Batista, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels was ringside doing commentary on it. Now this, nice physicality right at this fight right off bat, dug the hell out of it. The beginning part of this, Shawn Michaels hit the nail on the head in the beginning, and I was rolling laughing for a good 5 minutes after he said it. You know, Shawn said, I've been friends with Hunter for so long, I forgot on how ruthless he could, I forgot on how vicious he could be. Which, fucking beautiful, because at one point, Hunter beating the shit out of Batista, slammed the toolbox on, next thing you know, grabbed a pair of pliers, grabbed them, locked his fingers in, set the pliers and his hand back like that, boom, stomped on it. Next thing you know, grabbed a set of needle nose, pulled out his nose ring. You know, just was being straight up ruthless in that way. And I fucking dug the shit out of it. Now, as the match went on, it got a little more sloppier, I'll admit that, and it's a shame because these are two guys that I both really like, you know, but after that it was kind of ho-hum. But match wound up coming to an end when there was stairs in the ring at one point because they were set up. Dave was going to do a Batista bomb on it earlier, but it got countered. Match came to an end when Flair appeared out of nowhere, handed Triple H a sledge, came over, distracted Batista, which this was all based off of. You know, next thing you know, he distracts him. Hunter runs, jumps off the stair, and wham! Slams a hammer on him. 1, 2, 3. That's it. So your winner is Triple H. Dave Batista did put out there a little later in the night after the match that he is now officially retired from professional wrestling. So, Dave, you were and will always be one of my absolute favorites from when I was a teenager in my early 20s. I thank you for all that time you spent in the ring for my entertainment purposes. Hope you have a good career down the road, acting and doing whatever else you do. Now let's move on next match. Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle. It was pretty okay, decent pace and flow. You know, my biggest thing that popped for me was Kurt Angle coming out in the old Team Angle hoodie. Excuse me. I thought that was pretty decent, but Corbin, he pretty much led the pace of the match. It was very much so kind of one-sided. Match came to an end with Corbin. Curt missed hitting the moonsault, and then Corbin hit him with the end of days. 1, 2, 3. That was it. And okay, I can understand the reasoning why Corbin won, but that doesn't necessarily mean I agree with it. You know, you can't build new talent. You know, you can't build new talent unless you give them big wins. And yeah, this is a big win, and I've always said before, as the older veterans are going out, they should be willing to help establish the next generation, the next level of talent, and this does fall under it. I can't say I necessarily agree with how it happened, but it did. And again, Curt, just like I said to Dave, thank you for all them years of entertainment, whether it was in WWE, TNA, ICW, New Japan, any promotion you ever stepped foot in. I had the honor and privilege to see you perform live only once in my life, and I feel happy at the fact that I got to do that much at least. Now, with that said, next matchup, Bobby Lashley, Finn Balor, and this was probably one of Finn's best demon entrances ever. I absolutely loved it. Finn, he was really, really good and strong. Absolutely loved on how on how Leo Rush was like all Shaggy from Scooby-Doo like anytime he would get near Finn, like that on him. It was just fucking beautiful. And, you know, I say this every time, anytime Finn brings the demon persona out. People say, oh, well, there's no difference between Finn and the demon. Okay. You look at the Batman R.I.P. story. Batman, he has a backup protocol set up, the Batman of Zahara, and he says in that, and when that's initiated point blank, that's what happens when you take Bruce Wayne out of the equation. The Demon Balor is what happens when you take Finn out of the equation. Very much so the same thing. Same fight, you know, they're going to do the same shit and all, but it's going to be in a more aggressive manner. That's the whole point of it. Now, match wound up coming to an end when Finn, believe it or not, actually hoisted Lashley up for a powerbomb, which threw a lot of people off because seeing a 170-something pound guy powerbomb a 260-pound brick shithouse, you know, and then next thing you know, got up, hit the coup de grace, 1, 2, 3, that was it. So your winner and now two-time Intercontinental Champion, Finn Balor. Now we go on to the main event of the night. Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch. And two big things I want to take away before the match started. One, absolutely love the fact that they had Joan Jett play Ronda Rousey out because, well, if you follow me on my Twitter at Tim Vicious, you know on how much of a thing I got for Joan Jett, and oh, that made for one hell of a Joan Jett Sunday. And two, Charlotte Flair coming in on a helicopter and beautiful, brought back good memories of Ric Flair coming in on a helicopter in the old NWA days. Those are the two big takeaways before the match. Now let's get started with the match. Right at the start, Rousey, you know, she tries to take the fight to both girls. At one point she had a double arm bar locked in on him, and it was just like, huh? Okay, I understand even in pro wrestling, but just, huh? Look, there are just some moves that really are not even believable, even in pro wrestling standards. That's one of them. You know? And I'm more willing to believe that Braun Strowman was able to frickin' tip over a semi-truck. But, very nice, very hard-hitting, you know, had great back and forth with everyone. And I absolutely dug the ungodly hell out of this. This was a great, great match. This was a great match. This was absolutely beautiful. Now, it did get reported, Ronda, she did break her hand in several places during the course of this match. Don't worry though, we'll probably hear her do a video on how it was fake, but in the event we don't, I'm not going to say it's karma that she broke her hand in a pro wrestling match after she did a video saying on how pro wrestling is fake. But I'm definitely saying that's karma because she made a video saying it was fake. Yeah. But yeah, great match all around. I absolutely loved it. Match came to an end when Charlotte wound up getting put through a table, which, before I get any farther, I swear, I think fucking WWE bought these tables from New Japan because these tables were not working tables. These were shoot tables. These motherfuckers did not want to fucking break all damn night. These were shoot tables. You know? Now, either way, Charlotte, she gets put through a table and it doesn't split in half like it's supposed to. Instead, it breaks right at the bottom like that. So, like that. And then next thing you know, Ronda and Becky, they go at it back and forth for a little bit. Ronda, she's got Becky up like she's getting ready to go for a Piper's Pit. As she does, she comes down. Becky Lynch, then boom, hits a crucifix pin. 1, 2, 3. Upset win. Absolutely beautiful. I wish I could say the roof came off the place, but it was a stadium. But if there was a roof, oh my God, would that roof have exploded? It was just beautiful. And I'm not going to lie, I had a small sense of pride and joy in my heart because it's the first time that not only did a Irish-born main event WrestleMania, but it was also the first time an Irish-born won championship gold main eventing a WrestleMania, and that hit real close because of my Irish heritage, and I absolutely love that. So this was a fucking beautiful WrestleMania. If I had to give it a 1 out of 10, I'd give it a good 8.5. 9, pushing it. But yeah. So yeah, that is it though for this week's show, folks. So don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. Make sure y'all look for me on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. You also got another account, Tim_Vicious. Also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. If you're gonna look for me on my Facebook gimmick, make sure you let me know you found me on there from here. Or on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. I don't think you got your creep John going. Also, folks, do not forget to follow all these cool-ass cats right here on the Twitter. Axel Mulligan, Kenny Killer, DSB_IV. Now, Cranky Grandpa did change his handle. It's now Cranky Asshole again. As well as Desi MWP and Sergeant Curry Pants. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.